9:30 p.m.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of The Blazing Angels. In this episode, we'll be talking about whether Shylock's verdict is fair and just. Shylock, who is an alien in Venice, is accused of seeking the life of Antonio through the flesh bond, which he insists on carrying out. Shylock tries to take a pound of flesh from Antonio, and he refuses to have the surgeon stand by to stop his wounds, lest he do bleed to death, which means that Shylock was trying to kill Antonio. Having been accused of this, Shylock is sentenced to give one half of his goods to Antonio and the other half to Lorenzo and Jessica. He is also forced to become a Christian.
This particular law states that the offender's life lies in the mercy of the Duke only, against all other voices. However, it is clear that the verdict is affected by Antonio's wishes. Therefore, Shylock should have been given the original verdict, with him being allowed to remain as a Jew. As such, I am against the verdict. If the offender's life is at the mercy of the Duke only, then only the Duke should decide Shylock's sentence. The Duke was not the only one to decide Shylock's sentence, since Antonio's wish for Shylock to become a Christian was adhered to. The offender's life does not lie in the mercy of the Duke only, which goes against the law. Therefore, the verdict does not stand. Thank you.
Good afternoon. If the Duke and the jury are biased against the accused, they cannot judge properly. If the Duke and the jury cannot judge properly, then of course the verdict cannot stand. Therefore, we can see that if the Duke and jury are biased against the accused, the verdict cannot stand. In this case, Shylock's case, the Duke and the jury are biased against the accused, Shylock, who is a Jew, as the Christians, who are the Duke and the jury, bear ancient grudges against the Jews. They will thus be inclined to punishing Shylock instead of following the right course of the law. As proved earlier, if the Duke and the jury are biased against the accused, the verdict cannot stand. In this case, as we proved again, the Duke and the jury are indeed biased against Shylock, as their religions bear ancient grudges against each other. Therefore, we can see that the verdict cannot stand. Thank you.
If an alien seeks the life of a Venetian, then he of course is going against the law. If someone is going against the law, then he is subject to punishment decided upon by the Duke. Therefore, if an alien seeks the life of a Venetian, he is subject to punishment decided upon by the Duke. Shylock is not a Venetian and is therefore dubbed as an alien. He refused to have a surgeon stand by to stop the bleeding of Antonio lest he do bleed to death, which means that he takes the opportunity to cut the flesh from Antonio and exposing Antonio to the high risk of dying. As such, if an alien seeks the life of a Venetian, he is subject to punishment decided upon by the Duke. Shylock the alien seeks the life of Antonio the Venetian, therefore Shylock the alien is subject to punishment decided, a verdict decided upon by the Duke. Yeah, that's all.
Shylock loses all his money, he will lose his house and the means whereby he lives. If he loses the means whereby he lives, he will no longer have the will to live. Therefore, if Shylock loses all his money, he will no longer have the will to live. Shylock is very money-minded and cares a lot about his money. To him, money is as important as life itself. And it is the means whereby he lives. As such, either Shylock loses all his money or lose half of his money and become a Christian. Shylock will not want to lose all his money. Therefore, he will want to lose half of his money and become a Christian.
Thank you.
As we can see, there are many different views of Shylock's verdict. Some say that his verdict is correct, while others stand against it. The arguments against Shylock's verdict mainly stated that Antonio was able to influence the law, as his request for Shylock to become a Christian was followed. This should not be, as the law clearly states that the offender's life lies in the mercy of the Duke only, against all other voices. Another argument is that since Shylock is a Jew, while the Duke is a Christian, the Duke will be biased to a certain degree and not give Shylock a fair trial. However, others support Shylock's verdict, saying that Shylock sold the life of Antonio, hence violating a law of Venice. He is guilty of attempted murder and will be subject to punishment. Another argument is that Shylock is money-minded and does not want to lose all his money. Since the verdict states that Shylock can either lose all his money or lose only half of his money but become a Christian, Shylock will definitely choose the latter, hence proving the verdict to be correct. Now we will go for a short commercial break. Stay tuned.
Tuesday,
it's celebrity chef Eric Chevalier.
Comes a new assignment of the most delectable kind.
You rotten banana!
And to get the job done, they're going the distance before their passion gets in the way. Guest starring Rebecca Lim and Bobby Tonelli. And introducing Benjamin Heng.
I've been driving trucks for 9 years. Anything you want me to bank, no problem.
The brand new series, Anything Goes. Tuesday at 8:30 p.m. on 5.
Introducing new Microsoft Windows XP! How much do you want this totally new Windows? Wait just 1 minute before you answer! Watch while I make Windows XP the center of my home! All my pictures, all my music, all my videos, all in one place! Burn them to CD, post them to MSN, you'll mail them to friends, all with one click. Voice, video calls, right from Windows Messenger, and separate accounts for every person with Windows XP! It blows my mind!
Our company was on the ropes, taking hits from every side. But then, over 40,000 genius users installed Windows XP. Our help desk calls dropped significantly, and our stock's up over 40% since the start of the year. Goodbye Windows 9X, hello Windows XP.
That's right, a new Windows for home and business users! How much did you guess? 500? 1,000? Even more? No! It's just $99 for the home edition and $199 for professional! It's Windows XP from Microsoft! Get it now!
Spider-Man 2, tonight at 7 p.m. on 5. Brought to you by CK Into You Calvin Klein, Nugino Man, and Canon Digital Xs.
Breaking news! Apparently, Porsche has missed out a small but important section at the bottom of the bond, which says that any byproduct of the exactment of the forfeiture will be tolerated. Now let's hear what Shylock has to say about it.
As you have said, young doctor of law, the law states that if it be proved against an alien that by direct or indirect attempts he seeks the life of any citizen, the alien will be charged greatly, like I was. The party against with the which he doth contrive, and so on. However, I refuse to agree that I am guilty. If someone is tortured, mentally or physically, by another person, the victim would want to take revenge on the other person in order to make the torturer suffer. I was constantly tortured and discriminated against by Antonio, with him calling me misbeliever or cutthroat dog. Therefore, I would want to have my revenge on him and cause him to suffer as well. If I want to make Antonio suffer, I would have to torture and plague him. If I want to torture and plague him, I would not want to kill him and seek his life. So if I want to make Antonio suffer, I would not kill him. I do want to make Antonio suffer, I'm sorry. Therefore, I will not kill him and I do not seek his life. If I do not seek the life of Antonio, he will not bleed to death. If he does not bleed to death, a surgeon will not be needed to be on standby to treat Antonio's wounds. Therefore, if I do not seek the life of Antonio, a surgeon will not be needed to be on standby. If someone does not seek the life of a citizen, he is not guilty. I do not seek the life of Antonio. Therefore, I am not guilty.
Due to the many viewpoints of Shylock's verdict, it is up to you to make your stand on this issue. Stay tuned for our next episode about unicorns.
Your news.